Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Flight Podcast. My name is Jacob Shanker.
And I'm Andrew Thomas.
Shut up and sit down.
Today is a very special episode as we have our first guest, a very good friend, Mr. Jacob Sachs, who is a sports enthusiast just like us and loves watching basketball. How have you been, Sachs?
I've been well. I've really been enjoying the playoffs so far. It's been cool to watch, the upsets and everything.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I was going to ask you. Since you've been watching the NBA playoffs, what have been your thoughts so far on it?
Um, Obviously that game 7 with the Nuggets and the Clippers, dude, the Clippers really messed up there. They really blew that lead. It was kind of insane to watch, and I can't wait to watch the Nuggets in the conference finals. And also, I've been really watching the Heat. I think they have a really good chance to make it to the finals, and I think they just have a lot of variety to them that I think they have one of the best chances to reach the finals.
Yeah, I think the Heat are definitely going to win in 6 or 7 games. My prediction is 6 games. And it's just crazy to think how much the NBA playoffs have changed in like my playoff bracket for the playoffs bracket challenge for NBA.com. I had the Clippers winning in 6, going up against Milwaukee, and the only team that I got right going to the conference finals was Los Angeles Lakers. And it's just crazy to think how much the NBA can change just like a snap of your fingers.
Yeah, it's been completely crazy this whole entire playoffs. I mean, who would expect that it would be Lakers and Nuggets in the conference finals? I mean, I think absolutely everybody thought it was going to be Lakers Clippers, and now it's going to be
Besides Nuggets fans.
besides Nuggets fans,
Facts,
but
yeah.
the very few, but besides them. But it's going to be Lakers Clippers, and even myself, I'm going to assume a lot of people also thought it was going to be Bucks and Raptors, as they were the two best teams in the East in the regular season, and we saw what happened with them, so it's completely a shocker, this whole entire playoffs.
Yeah.
And also back to what Andrew said about the NBA changing. I feel like when LeBron and like Chris Bosh retired and Dwayne Wade retired, nobody really expected, I feel like, the Heat to do really good, at least for a few years, and now I think they're really proving themselves. And honestly, they're just looking good to me. I think they have a really good chance, as I said.
Yeah, I think they're going to make the finals. I think they have a very well-rounded team, and they have their two stars, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, who's probably going to stay there for a long time.
Well, yeah, but it's a little sad because I saw a couple of articles saying that the Heat don't want to sign Bam Adebayo to the max contract, which is it. Like, I understand why they don't want to give him. He's not a max player. He deserves it. He's not a max player, but he definitely deserves the cash. He is an all-star this year, and I think that he's gonna. I think he's gonna sign somewhere where he can get some cash because he's gotten not a lot of money for his previous contract, like $8 million over 3 years, which he could definitely get a lot more for the NBA. Like that's about yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to definitely get a lot more than that $8 million, because also this was his breakout year. I mean, the past couple of years he's been fine. He hasn't been definitely not as good as he's been this year, but I mean, I think he's definitely going to be able to get his money with Miami. I don't know if he'll be able to get that max contract like you said, but
Yeah.
what do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, definitely like you guys said, I think Bam really deserves the money. Obviously, like you guys said again, he's been an all-star. He's really proven himself. I mean, obviously, I honestly think he deserves the money, and he's really been one of the key components of the Heat's success. I feel like this playoffs, he he's just an overall good on both ends of the court. Honestly, he's good offensively, getting into the paint, and he's also good defensively, getting those rebounds as well as setting up other players to succeed.
Yeah, you're 100%
Yeah.
right.
Bam's been doing just phenomenal in these playoffs. He's bumped up almost every single average, besides defensively, blocks and steals wise. But his offensive rating has gone up. His defensive rating has gone down. 16 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists for a center. That's shocking.
Yeah.
He's been doing phenomenal.
He's been
Yeah.
amazing all around.
Also, that very quickly, that game-saving block on Jason Tatum, that has to be like LeBron. That's right behind, I think, LeBron's chase down block in Game 7.
Yeah, I mean I think it's
Yeah.
one of the best defensive plays in playoff history. I don't know if it's better than that LeBron block.
Of
Like,
course.
I mean, Magic Johnson tweeted saying, "Oh, it's the best one," but I don't know about that. But I definitely think it's up there as being one of the best because it was nuts.
It was
Yeah.
crazy. All right, so as the Denver Nuggets beat the Los Angeles Clippers, the second round is complete. Sachs, you're obviously shocked about this, but just let me know a little more about that.
Um, I mean, as I said before, that I was watching that Game 7. I think, bro, it was like I was really shocked. Like the Clippers were up like 3-1. I'm pretty sure they were up 3-1, and they just blew it. And honestly, I think that it's really going to be interesting to see how like the like off season wise, how they like what they do, like if they make any changes to the starting lineup, if they get anybody like through trades or anything like that. But also, I think that they really got to get someone who like just like the Heat. I feel like they really got to get someone who can facilitate the ball movement. I feel like I can't stress this enough. I'm really like into like players that can facilitate the ball movement and just like overall like help the team. And I feel like the Clippers just don't have that. I mean, I honestly I don't think Patrick Beverly is really that good as a point guard. I mean, he's good with the smack talk, I guess you could say, but as a point
Phenomenal
guard, I think
defender.
yeah, I mean like yeah, defensively, but I think they could just get another player who can just overall just really command the team and like really just get them going because Paul George obviously in the playoffs, he's not how he was in Indiana.
Not at
He just
all.
he just
No way.
hasn't been performing to that standard. And I mean, I'm not saying he's a trash player. Like, of course, we know he has the potential to do that. We've seen him before in Indiana, as I said, but I just think that he's not been doing good. And I think Kawhi, obviously, he got the Raptors. I think he's one of the best players in the NBA, obviously, but I just think they need that other player to really just solidify that team.
I 100% agree with you, and I want to say it from the words of Stephen A. Smith. That was the biggest choke in NBA playoffs history.
That is
I
actually
100%
not
agree with you.
true.
Yeah.
That is not true.
Why?
2011 LeBron James. That is totally not true.
I will tell you why this is the biggest choke. Okay, for one thing,
No
LeBron
way.
actually made the finals. Everybody. Okay, I know you thought that the Clippers were going to make it,
8 points in the NBA Finals. That's all I
but
gotta say.
most people, if 99% of people, unless you're a Denver Nuggets fan, 99% of people thought that the Western Conference Finals were going to be the Los Angeles Lakers against the Los Angeles Clippers, and that's not happening. And I think it's not just Kawhi or Paul George, but it's the whole team, the whole entire team. Everybody screwed up in the end, and
Yeah.
I
well,
think it's
I
I'm
agree with that.
well, yeah, but I'm also gonna give you two more chokers: 2016 Kevin Durant, 2016 Steph Curry. They choked worse than Kawhi did. They both had 3-1 leads, and they
This is
performed worse than Kawhi did.
the Clippers. Everybody was talking about this whole entire year. Oh, Kawhi's the best player in the league. The Clippers have amazing depth. They have the best depth in the league. They have the best team.
Yeah, I remember the preseason. They were like really hyped to like it was the biggest debate, honestly. Who was
Yeah,
gonna win, Lakers or Clippers? But
exactly.
now we see that that's not happening.
Yeah.
They lost to the Joker and Jamal Murray.
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Jamal Murray and the Joker are really good.
Yeah, but come on, like
Oh, come on. You cannot.
no,
They
He
are
was
really
phenomenal.
good.
No,
Steph
Jamal
Curry.
Murray dropped 40 points in Game 7.
Yeah, he
Like,
did insane. And
No, I'm
Joker,
he
yeah,
has had two 50-point
Joker,
games, Jacob.
no, I'm not saying they're bad. They are.
But you
unbelievable.
sound like you're saying they're bad.
yeah, it kind of
I
did.
think no. I think Jokic was the best player in the second round. But I think as if you want to compare the 2016 Warriors with Stephen Curry and their loss, you're talking about LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, one of the best big threes of all time. Right here, the Denver Nuggets,
That
who
is true.
they were amazing, But this is just Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, who they're starting out in their prime years to come.
Okay, well,
So,
compare
I mean, they
the
do have the
2011 Mavs to the 2011 Heat. Big three versus Dirk Nowitzki.
yeah, that was bad also. But LeBron was actually able to make the finals in that year.
But that doesn't
The
matter
Clippers
because
couldn't get
we're
past
talking
the
about
second
how
round.
they choked. We're talking about how LeBron choked in those finals. 2 17-point games, 1 8-point game. Kawhi had two. Wait, I think he had 2 bad games or 3 bad games.
All
But
right, but
he
when it
had a
comes
great game 6, and the game 6 loss was not his fault. It was not his
All right,
fault. It
I
was
want to
Doc
I want
Rivers'
to get
fault.
Jacob. I want to hear Jacob's opinion. Jacob, which do you think this is the biggest choke of all time, and if not, what is?
I'm sorry, Andrew. I have to go with Jacob's opinion. I
Oh
think
my
that
goodness.
this was a pretty big choke on their part. Because, I mean, obviously the Nuggets, they've really proven themselves, and I can't, like, just deny that they are good. But compared to, like, the Cavs, like, the 2016 Cavs, like,
Yeah,
both the Warriors and the Cavs were really good teams. Like, you
LeBron was
cannot
not.
tell me they were not a good team. I just think that this was honestly a surprise that they lost, and I don't know. They're gonna have to prove themselves next year, and hopefully, just their managerial staff and coaching staff organize the team better and maybe just make better decisions. I think.
And Andrew, also, here's the thing, and the real reason why Kawhi Leonard had the biggest choke with the Clippers is because they were up 3-1. How do you lose that?
Yeah.
That's not well. It wasn't
Come
his fault that they
on!
lost the 3-1 lead. It's his
You're
fault
one.
they
You're
lost game
the
set.
Clippers.
It's
right
not his
there.
fault they lost the lead. It's his fault they lost game 7. He had a
Okay,
great
but
game
still,
6. It is
he did awful. He did awful in games.
not as bad as LeBron in 2011. I don't know how you think it's the worst choke in NBA
But that
history
wasn't
because
a
it's
game
not.
seven. That
LeBron,
was a game seven. But I'm
but
talking
no,
about the whole series. Game
yes,
five,
Yeah.
7. They
Like I feel like Andrew, you're talking about just LeBron, not as the team overall.
yeah,
For
and I'm
the
not even just talking
yeah.
about Kawhi. I'm talking about the team. This was the biggest choke for a team. Doc
no,
Rivers.
you literally just said it was Kawhi that was
I said
choking.
Kawhi was the leading man, and Kawhi should have led the team
Yeah.
to the victory. But the real reason was the whole team. Paul George did not do well.
Yeah,
Montrezl and
obviously,
Lou
yeah.
Williams were quiet in games 5, 6, and 7. Doc
Mhm.
Rivers was sitting Kawhi and Paul George when he shouldn't have. Patrick Beverly was not playing as well as he could have. I mean, it was everybody on that team. It wasn't one player. It was everybody.
Mhm.
Uh,
Facts.
That's what I think. All right, so as the conference finals are underway, the LA Lakers and the Denver Nuggets face each other in the West, and the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat face each other in the East. So, Jacob, who do you think is going to win these series?
So, I think the easier of the two to predict, I think it's going to be the Celtics and the Heat. I think I want to start there first. As I said before, I think the Heat are going to make it to the finals. It's going to be close for both like brackets. I think it's going to be really close, but for this, I just feel like the Heat are going to do better. I feel like they have more versatility, as I said before. They have Duncan Robinson, who is a three-point specialist. Even though he's inconsistent, he is really good in that point production sometimes. And also, they have Jimmy Butler in the clutch. Bam, need I say anything about him? And Gorgon Dragic, he's a veteran. Even though he's getting older, um, I watched a few games. I remember watching some of the Heat games versus the Bucks, and he did do really good. I wasn't really expecting him to do good because I haven't really been following him outside of the playoffs, but I was surprised honestly. And also, Jay Crowder was also doing pretty good as well, and that's what I have on the who's gonna win against the Celtics.
Andrew, who do you got in the East finals?
like I said before, Heat in 6. Jimmy Butler is a better leader than Jason Tatum. Jimmy Butler, I think, is a better player than Jason Tatum. I think that the Heat are a better team than the Celtics. Not as a whole, not by far. With Gordon Hayward, they're probably equal. But I think that for tonight's game, I think the Heat are going to win. I think that, yeah, like I said, Heat in 6. There's nothing much more to add to it, but I think that the Heat have better star power and they have a better team overall. They also have more weapons, and like Jacob said, like Sachs said, versatility.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I think I could see Heat going out in 5. I would not be surprised by that. I don't think this will go to Game 7. I mean, the big thing is that the Celtics don't really have a big man. They don't really
Yeah.
have someone to stop Bam, and Bam's just gonna have he's gonna just go
He's
off.
going to be a monster.
He's gonna be a monster. There's nobody can stop him, and the Heat defense is just so good. I'm like watching them when they played against the Pacers, against the Bucks. They were just so good, able to lock down T.J. Warren, Giannis, Chris Middleton, all of
Yeah.
those guys.
I think that was one of the key factors that honestly led the Heat to the victory. Because honestly, the Bucks, if you think about it, they only have really one, maybe two star players. Giannis obviously is a star player. He won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. But I think, as I've said multiple times already, I think versatility in this game right now in 2020, I think versatility is really what matters the most in winning and going
Yeah,
to.
there's a lot of guys on the Heat where they can just do everything.
Yeah.
There's some of them are not as good as other things. I mean, Jimmy Butler's not as good at shooting, but they have Duncan
Yeah.
Robinson and Tyler Herro. They may not be as good at defending. They have Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Like they complement each other so well, and the team
Yeah.
overall is just so good. So, yeah, I agree with you guys. So, Sax, who do you got for that West Finals?
Now that's an even more difficult topic for me. Honestly, I know you, Jacob. You're gonna obviously go for your Lakers. I know you love the Lakers.
Nah, I got Nuggets in 4.
I mean, honestly, like I said before, the Nuggets have been proving themselves. I think they've been really strong, and honestly, Murray and Jokic have been obviously performing really good. But also the Lakers are also very, very good. Like they also have two star players, and they also their bench. They have Kyle Kuzma. They have Danny Green, which is okay. He's pretty good. They have obviously my man Caruso. They have Dwight Howard. I just think they also have a lot of options, and I think it's gonna be a really close game. That I mean, I don't really have anybody really predicted to win. But if I had to choose someone, I would honestly choose the Lakers. But I wouldn't be surprised if it went to a Game 7 and the Nuggets won.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I think that obviously I would say Clippers would beat the Lakers, but I think that the Nuggets I think that Anthony Davis is going to do a good job defending Jokic. Jokic is obviously still going to be great, and I think that the Nuggets as a whole are a great team, but obviously the Lakers. I have the Lakers winning in 6, if not 7. I don't think that it's going to be anything less than 6, because I just think that the Nuggets are too good to go down like that. But you never know.
Yeah, honestly, who knows? This playoff's been really crazy, and I think that honestly, it can go either way.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's crazy.
I know you guys know. I'm gonna assume everybody knows. Lakers. I mean, I think Lakers are gonna get it. I mean, yeah, I could see them winning in 5 or 6. I mean, yeah, Nuggets have shocked me a lot. They've shocked a lot of people, especially in this past round. I mean, the one problem for the Nuggets is Jokic is their star player. He was amazing in the second round, best player in the second round, leading that Nuggets team. But AD has been one of the best defensive players this year. He almost won Defensive Player of the Year. He was second. And he's just going to be able to lock down Jokic because
He's not going to lock him down. I don't think he'll. I don't. Well, think about it this way.
AD is that type of guy. AD can play in the perimeter and the post. He can defend in both ways. Which Jokic, yeah, Jokic can work in the post and the perimeter. Where there's a lot of defenders where they can either only work in the perimeter or the post. And like Jacob was talking about being very versatile, AD's that guy.
Yeah.
But also, don't forget if Jokic has contest on him, he's gonna pass it to the wide open man. Jokic is the best passing big man in the league.
That is
I don't think
true.
it's
And
competition.
we saw that in Game 7. He had a very good amount of assists, and he was more of
13,
a
I
team
think.
player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was more of
Yeah,
a
it was
team
13.
player. He did do decent in points, But where he lost in points, he made up in helping the team tremendously. And I think, obviously that's very good to have on the team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jokic
I mean,
is
no matter
phenomenal at
how
passing.
good, no matter how good the Nuggets are with their offense. I mean, yeah, Jokic, he'll pass to be able to pass to Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Michael Porter Jr. But the real problem is that they don't really have someone to guard LeBron. Or
Yeah, their defense, I
like the
think.
big thing with why the Lakers were able to beat the Rockets is size. I mean, a lot of people thought that size isn't going to matter. But I mean, I know Rockets played mostly small ball, but generally the Lakers and their players are a bit bigger than the Nuggets players, even though they have Jokic, but still.
Well,
I,
yeah, but I understand that this is a different comparison, but they didn't. But like Kawhi is still a top 5 player. They didn't have anybody to guard Kawhi, and they still won. They overpowered the Clippers. Like I understand that Kawhi choked, but even when Kawhi did have a good game, they in some cases Kawhi did have a good game. They were still able to win that game.
when I was watching the games, I think it was mostly just Kawhi couldn't handle the pressure. He was missing shots that he could easily make, that I've seen him make time and time again. It was
Yeah.
easy shots, and he could have made them, but he just couldn't handle the pressure. And I mean, I think that's going to be a big thing for the Nuggets. I mean, will they
Yeah.
be able to handle the pressure? I mean, they've got a lot of people
Yes,
they can win
I
this.
think that they'll be able to handle it. I don't think they're scared of anything. They came back 3-1 2 times.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
not. There's no way they're scared of anything.
Yeah,
I
but the
think
thing
they can
is,
handle it, but I don't think that they have enough to beat the Lakers team.
Well,
also,
no, I don't. But yeah, I think that if I think the Nuggets have a chance to beat the Lakers. I'm going to give the Lakers a 75% chance to win and 25 for the Nuggets. Maybe that's a little low for the Nuggets, but that's what I think.
yeah,
I
like I
think
don't want to, yeah, like I don't want to speak too soon for the Nuggets, but like I mean, I think they still need to prove themselves. Obviously, they've proven themselves to be a very good team, but the Lakers are like arguably one of the best teams. Not arguably, they probably are like top 3 best teams in the NBA right now. So I think they just need to prove themselves more. And honestly, even if they lose against the Lakers, I think they can always improve over like time. And I think that they really have a future, and they can get more
oh,
players that help them out.
I
yeah,
think
Denver's definitely going to win the championship in the next 5 to 10 years, without a doubt.
Yeah,
I think them making it to the Western Conference Finals is the biggest achievement they can have. Even if they lose, they still won. They were able
yeah,
to
they should be
come back
proud, honestly.
from 2-3-1 deficits, which is insane. Like that's
Th-
insane. But the big
Then
thing also, the last point I want to make, with the big reason why it's going to be harder for Denver is because the Clippers didn't have that good shot blocking big man. That's why Jokic was able to do so well. Because he could either just have that one-legged fadeaway shot like he always does, or just pass it. But
Yeah,
AD is going to be right on him the whole game. So
I think they'll have to look to their bench and other starters to, you know, to really get
yeah,
open and really get that pointage up.
yeah, Gary Harris and Michael Porter Jr. got to get
Yeah,
some big games in there.
yeah, that's all for today, everyone. Thanks for being on our show, Jacob.
no problem. Glad I was here.
Uh, Good to have you, Jacob. Feel free to comment down below what your thoughts are on the second round and what your conference finals predictions are.
See you guys next time.